In the patrols that you were participating in, that you were on the boat, how many times did you guys come under destroyer check with the depth charges?
Oh yeah, it's happy day. You don't get used to them.
Yeah.
Quick cut, boom! And that's...
So,
and the biggest thing that people say, you know, you say, as long as he broke over, as long as he exploded over me, it's fine. Everybody said, what are you talking about, Wally? I said, look, they get a depth charge, and they get underneath you, and they what it would do is push you to the surface. And once you got under the surface, you know, no match for a destroyer. They know their business. So the thing is, all right, so it broke over your head or something like that, but it was better than coming underneath, and then you didn't have any control. You were being blown out of the water. Once you're out of the water, you're dead, unless it's the middle of the night and they can't see you.
So there have been quite a few movies in the last 50 years that have had submarines, and they've shown the depth charge attacks and whatnot to somebody who is, from somebody who has experienced it to someone who hasn't. Would you say that is a semi-accurate representation, or would you say a lot of that is fictionalized and sensationalized?
Well, let's put it this way. Every time you went out on patrol and you come in, 15 of the veterans were taken off to go back to new construction. So then you get some new kids on board, and they had to quiet them down, you know. Especially in the one patrol we did, they were coming out of Saigon, you know, Indochina, and we let loose a couple of fish, and we think we got somebody, and right away they come on our tail, so then we went down, and we sprung a little leak in one of the exhausts, the main exhaust for the engines, one of the engines, and we started taking on water in the after engine room. Well, of course, you have a pump, you know, bilge pump, you can pump it out, but as soon as you did that, you're running silent, what they call running silent. The only thing, you know, is going against the propellers. I mean, if you've been on service all night long and it's been a hot area where you're in, I mean, weather, you know, hot weather, and they dive, and you turn everything out, rig for silent running, everything gets shut down. Only the most important piece of equipment will be on, and the heat from it just like that in the water come down. But no, it's when they come after you, you try to get away.
Yeah.
So I think what Kevin is saying is, like, when you watch the movie, remember the movie, granted it was about the German submarine, Das Boot?
Yeah, right.
The stuff that you saw in the movie that they went through, would you say that was pretty accurate about how it was when you were...
Well, like I say, we didn't, the Germans ran into the United States. We ran into the Japanese. Little different situation. No, I wouldn't have wanted to be in a German U-boat Navy. I mean, in the beginning, yes. When we first got into the war, they were having a field day because we had, what, an Admiral King was on the East Coast, and here all the cities are lit up like Times Square. I mean, let's face it, the German U-boats are right outside the main harbor, and they can see all these convoys coming out. Hey, this cuckoo, he didn't want to turn off the lights. Eventually, they shut everything down. Made it so that they couldn't, the U-boat guys couldn't see us coming up, convoys coming out. You know.
So you're saying the Japanese weren't as fierce an opponent to you as the United States and Britain was to the Germans?
No, well, of course, if it wasn't for some of those dud torpedoes that these admirals had under their wraps and wanted to get rid of, and our submarine force would get a dead bullseye, 2 fish, just bounce off the side because they never exploded. Mm-hmm. And our commanders would come in off a patrol and they were ripping. What kind of stuff you giving us? Well, some of these admirals had these torpedoes, they wanted to make sure they got out, you know. But, something else. Go I think it was those German boys at the end there, they were really taking a beating. Submarine destroyer was, you know, patrols were, you know, they'd come up on them. That's why they had to, the Germans had to develop the snorkel, because you can't charge you, if you can't open your air and so on to get the air circulating. What I'm saying, if you were closed and you started running those diesel engines and they're not getting any air from out, they pull your ears right out, they pull your eardrums right out of your ear. That's how it's done. So you gotta, you can, when it says shut down, rig for solid running, everything is shut down. But the Germans, I don't know, they had a hard time because our submarine protection became better and better, you know. That's the way it was with us, you know. We got better and they got worse, right? So what was they, at 60,000 submarine force, the Germans, and they lost 40,000 men? We didn't exactly set any home run records either. I mean, we lost quite a few boats too. I mean, if you go down to Washington, D.C., and you go to the Navy building down, the Navy has a building down there, and down in the basement is the submarines that they have on the pole, all the boats that were in the war. And then you see the boats that you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's okay.
but I mean, you know, guys you get to know well and they know come back, you know. And then one time we were walking around in San Francisco and this man come over to spend the night. We were just having a smoke, we were walking around, and he says, I see you boys were on submarines. And we said, oh yeah, yeah. And he says, you haven't heard from my son in a long time. It's quite a while. You think something's happened? I says, what boat was he on? And the other kid I was with, he knew the boat was lost, and I knew, but we couldn't tell, we didn't tell that to the father. Not the, we say, well, they're waiting for them to come in, you know, they'll never come in, you know.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. So, Dad, did you get to go to Australia or New Zealand at all?
Oh, I went to Australia.
Uh-huh.
That's where we were in Perth. That's where our tender was when we went out on patrol. We went up the Indian Ocean, then we went through Lombok Passage, and then we got into the South China Sea, and we were running patrol there. That was a great place. You ride on the Indian Ocean, there's an excellent call up the coast from Perth, and we go in there in the morning and top off, make sure all the gas, all the oil, engine oil is in place, you know, so that you're going out on a full, just like when you go on a trip, you don't go in a half-empty car, you make sure your car is full. Well, it's the same thing, we did the same thing. Mm-hmm. And then you get to this, you had to get to the Lombok Passage. Well, they had to dive before you got there, and when you went through there, you swear you were on the surface because you're rolling and rocking and all of that. Because the Nippons were up looking for us, you know. Mm. Once you got past so many miles, they went back to their Saki. We took off.